Hey guys, we are working on forces in motion and science for the next couple weeks. You will have a test coming up on this probably the end of next week or the first of the following week, and I will have notes for you also. Yesterday, you matched your vocabulary words with their definitions from this chapter, so you've gotten a little bit of a preview of what this chapter is going to look like. And I'm going to go through each lesson with you. You can open up your science book. This is on page 94 of your science book. So if you need to pause the video to get your science book and open it up, you can do that now. But the first part of our book says what makes roller coasters fun. So if you see this roller coaster has loops and turns and flips, so we're going to go on to our next page. There are 4 lessons in this chapter. Lesson 1 that we're going to be looking at today is what are positions and motions. Our next lesson will be what is gravity, what are magnets, and then what is friction. So we're going to start with lesson 1, but before we do that, I want us to pay attention to something on page 97. On page 97, you'll see where it says the focus on informational text is cause and effect. So we've been talking about nonfiction text structures. If you pay attention to this chapter, it is a cause and effect structure. So you'll practice reading skills, cause and effect in this chapter. A cause is what makes something happen, and an effect is what happens. So if we look at this, practice it, the boy is playing soccer. The boy kicks the ball goes far. So write the effect of the boy kicking the ball. So the boy kicks the ball, and the effect would be that the ball goes far. So this was an example of a cause and effect situation, similar to what you'll see throughout this chapter. All right. Today we're going to work on lesson 1, what are positions and motions. So you are going to learn how objects change position. Your vocabulary words from this lesson are position, motion, force, slide, roll, and spin. So these words from the ones that you learned yesterday or that you looked up yesterday are the words that we'll be talking about today. All right, this quick lab is something that, and I'll have more information posted on it tomorrow, but this is what you will be doing tomorrow for your assignment. You're going to do this at home. All you need is a cup and a timer, and you should be able to find a timer on your computer. There are timers on your phones, iPads. It should not be an issue to find a timer. But I will explain more about this. This is going to be your assignment for tomorrow. All right, getting started with lesson 1. The first thing we're going to talk about is position. So you can use words to describe the position of an object. So position is one of our vocabulary words, and it is where an object or person is. So your position right now is wherever you are sitting or standing. The words left and right describe position. You can use words such as in front of, next to, and behind to help you describe position 2. So if you are describing where something is, you're describing its position. It's in front of something or behind something or to the right of something. Um, that is how you describe position. So if you look at the picture, and we'll have to go to the next page to see the other part of the picture of the playground, you can use an object that does not move to tell position. The slide does not move. A boy and a girl are to the left of the slide. So on this page, you can see the boy and the girl to the left of the slide. And here's the slide. All right, so the next thing that we're going to talk about is motion. And it is the act of moving. So position is where something is at, where something is located. Motion is the act of moving. So objects can move in different ways. Objects can roll, objects can spin or slide. So these are all different ways to move. So these are all motions: um, rolling, spinning, sliding. Um, they can move back and forth and fast and slow. Objects can change position. Objects change positions as they move. So if you are moving, your position is not going to stay the same. Suppose you push a toy truck across the floor. The truck moves in a straight line. The truck changes positions as it was moving. So if you're moving a toy truck, it is not going to be in the same position when it starts moving. You may move the truck in a zigzag pattern. So this means you push the truck one way and then another. So like that. All right, so we are going to look at a cause and effect situation here. If you push the truck across the floor, that is your cause. What would the effect be? So your effect would be that the truck changes its position. So it's going to be in a different position. All right, so now we're going to talk about force. You can move things in different ways. A push or a pull that makes something move is called a force. So anything when you're pushing and pulling, that you're making something move. That's a force. A force changes the way an object moves. So the motion is moving. The push or pull that makes something move is the force. An object will change its motion in the direction it is pushed or pulled. Suppose you change the direction of the force. The object will move in a different direction. So someone throws a ball to you. The ball changes direction and position when you throw it back. So you're changing the force. And it's also, remember, because it's in motion, it is changing its position. All right, so if we look at this cause and effect, the man throws the ball, the boy throws it back. So if you look now, this is where the man is throwing the ball. You can see his arms thrown. So the ball is going, and the boy is about to catch it. The ball is going in this direction, but when he throws it back, it's going to go this direction. So the throwing the ball is changing the force, and it also changes the position. So an object will move in the direction it is pushed or pulled. Suppose you change the direction of the force. The object will move in a different direction. Objects can move towards or away from something. If someone kicks you a ball, the ball moves towards you. If you kick it back, the ball moves away from you. So objects can move up and down. You can push up a window to open it, or you can pull down a window to close it. Um, so if you look, this little girl that's playing soccer, she is kicking the ball. So the ball, when the ball starts moving, it will be in motion. She's sending the direction away from her. So when it's moving, remember it's changing its position. It will be in motion, and her foot kicking it is the force that is moving it. The speed, all right, so we're talking about fast and slow and near and far. The speed of an object depends on the amount of force that is used to move it. Speed is how fast or slow an object moves. How far an object moves depends on how much force is used. It takes more force to move an object farther. So you think about if you're throwing a baseball and you don't use a lot of force, you just throw it very easy. It's not going to go far. But the more force you put into throwing that ball, the further the ball is going to go. How fast and far an object moves depends on the surface. A ball can move fast and far on a hard, smooth surface, and it's not going to move as fast or far on a rough or soft surface. So if you think about if you have carpet in your house and you slide a toy car across the carpet, it's not going to go as fast or as far as a toy car pushed across a wood floor. All right, so this was another one of our vocabulary words, slides. Sliding, objects move in many different ways. Sliding is one way that an object can move. Something slides when it moves smoothly along a surface. Sliding changes the position of an object. The object moves from one place to another. You can slide a counting chip across your desk. You can slide down a playground slide. So here's a picture. In this picture, you see a picture of a baseball player that's sliding into base. And then you see penguins sliding across the ice. So just remember, um, sliding, you're going to go further and faster across a smoother surface. Rolling and spinning are two other motions, um, or two other ways to move. To roll is to move by turning over and over. So we all know if you've ever rolled down a hill before, your body, you turn over and over and over going down the hill. When objects roll, they move from place to place. Round objects can roll easily. So things roll, slide more easily on a smoother surface. Round objects roll more easily. Wheels are round and roll easily. Logs are round and they can be rolled too. So a bicycle wheel rolls. That is one way that is a way that a bicycle moves. Spinning is another way of moving. To spin is to twirl around and around. Spinning an object does not move from place to place. It stays in the same place, like a merry-go-round. So if you've been on a merry-go-round, the merry-go-round does not move. It stays in the same place. But it is motion. You are in motion. You are moving. It turns around and around a center point. Okay, so this was our first lesson for force and motion. We've talked about the position. The position moves when you're in motion. Um, we've talked about how motion is the act of moving. Force is the push or the pull of something to make something move. So throwing a ball, in the force, how far or fast it goes depends on your force, how much force you use. The direction is you can either it can it's the direction that it's pushed or pulled, the way that it's moving. And then we talked about sliding and rolling and spinning, which are all different ways that we can move. So today you have a couple of questions to answer about your um, lesson, about this lesson. If you want to go back and look at it in your book, you're welcome to do so. So you're going to answer a few questions about lesson one. And tomorrow you will be assigned a little experiment to do where you're going to roll a cup.